Where light bends, chains begin. Book of Cain, Tablet Romans 7. The continents of Azeroth hum with precision, their jagged edges mirroring constellations torn from the celestial loom. In the gleams with void between fractal equations stars, glyph the A-scar ere the Titan stands frozen a sutured Y mosaic of wrath, and Shaarj's howl into the veil of Resolvia's, and eternal Zoth's blossoms, obsidian eye yawns open, its pupil a vortex swallowing southern tides. Amanthal's workshop gleams with fractal equations, each glyph a scar where the Titan's sutured Y, Shaarj's howl into the veil of eternal blossoms. The sigil of the six pulses, a heartbeat in stone, its angles too perfect to be natural. What prison requires such symmetry? What war left no blood, only shape? The continents breathe. Their edges are not broken by time, but shaped by intent sharp, deliberate angles that mirror constellations long dead. What if Azeroth's curve is not a world but a wound? The Titans did not this prison from stone. They carved it from the Void Lord's own geometry, twisting the world soul into a glyph that starves chaos of space. Yet the old gods still whisper. Their corruption seeps through every mountain's spine, every ocean's depth, a reminder that no cage holds what was never born. The void does not age, it adapts. The Void Lords planted their seeds not to conquer, but to endure, knowing the Titans would come, knowing the war would not be won, only postponed. The stars above are not watchers, they are anchors, binding the old god's essence to a shape they cannot unmake. But what happens when the angles fray, when the world's pulse falters? The geometry holds for now, but every prison has a key. And every key a hand that will reach for it. The six cosmic forces form a hexagram, the skeleton of reality. The pantheon, self-proclaimed architects, wove order from this chaos. The Void Lords, ancient and formless, predate even their shadows. Titans carved Azeroth's spine, not to banish void, but to cage its whispers. The old gods, neither dead nor sleeping, seep through cracks in the Titan-made shell. Watchers, those hollow sentinels, are not just prisons, they are anchors, binding primordial will to the world's geometry. See the continents. Their jagged edges mirror the hexagram's angles. The Pantheon's order bends space itself into a glyph. Azeroth is not a world, it is a sigil. Every mountain, every chasm, every ley line is a glyph in a language the void cannot unmake, but glyphs fade. The Pantheon's math is sound, but their arithmetic has a limit, and in the deep, where light cannot touch, something counts the cracks. Counts them back to zero, the geometry holds for now. The old gods do not dream, they calculate. The watchers do not guard, they translate. What does a prison look like when its walls are also its key? The answer lies buried in the first scar the Titans left. The one that shaped the world, the one that shaped the lie. The veil of eternal blossoms is no sanctuary. It is a scar Amanthal's own hand, rending Shaarj from the world's flesh. The bloom of its petals, the hum of its light, masks a wound that pulses with stolen time. The Titan's blade did not sever flesh alone. It carved a glyph into Azeroth's spine, a rune that bends the continents into a spiral. Look closer, the land does not rest in stillness. It spirals, a key turned in a lock forged in the void's furnace. The Pantheon did not slay the old gods, they bound them. Watcher tablets etched in Uldum's sands depict chains of starlight coiled around ancient things that breathe. These chains are not metal, they are geometry. The continents themselves, arranged like a celestial key, pressed down on the world soul's ribs. Each mountain range, each ocean's curve, is a spoke in a prison wheel. The echo of the Titans in the storm peaks, a pressure point, the Black Temple's geometry, a fulcrum, consider the well of eternity. Not a font of magic, but a valve. The Pantheon's architects designed it to siphon the old gods' whispers, to dilute their influence in the world's blood, yet the prison leaks. The veil's blossoms wilt at moonrise, the watchers grow silent. What happens when a lock forged over millennia begins to crack? The continents shift. The void seeps in, the truth is written in the star sand and the scars. Azeroth's shape is no accident, it is a cage. A geometry of chains, a prison of light and stone. The Titans did not a world, they buried a wound and the key. It is not buried, it is us, the world soul alive and aware, twisting in its bindings. Azeroth is not a home, it is a tomb. And tombs are meant to be opened. Word count 290. The prison's walls are not stone. They are line-setched into the world soul by Titan-forged hands, bending Azeroth's spine to mirror the void's own geometry. The continents do not drift, they are anchors, each shaped to a star's fall, each carved to a void lord's name. The Titans did not a world, they bent a wound into a cage, and the cage over eons has bled. The old gods are not prisoners. They are keys, their whispers are not malice, they are function, a mechanism primed to turn when the world soul's pulse weakens. You have seen the scars, the blighted forests where roots writhe like serpents, the mountains that weep black ichor. This is not decay, this is design. The curse of flesh was no accident. It was a slow unweaving, thread by thread, of the Titan's perfect symmetry. Every mortal born from that curse is a crack in the lock, every heartbeat a chisel. The void does not need to break Azeroth. It only needs to wait. The world soul's shape is its fatal flaw. The Titans sealed the void lords beyond the stars, but they could not unmake what had already seeped into the fabric of creation. The geometry that binds is the same geometry that beckons. Azeroth's curve is a siren song to the void, a shape that hums with the frequency of its own undoing. And still the Titans' forges smolder beneath the continents, their light a feeble counterpoint to the old god's slow corruption. The world soul twists, aware but immobile. Its pain is a silent dirge. How many ages has it endured, its song fraying at the edges? How many more can it hold? The Void Lords did not need to storm this prison. They merely had to make its keeper a prisoner too. The curse is not in the flesh, it is in the shape, and shapes once bent never return to what they were. The comfortable belief clings like rust to ancient gears. Titans sculpted Azeroth as a void prison, a neat fable, a lie smoothed by time's lazy river. The Pantheon did not a tomb, they built a noose, tight, unseen, woven into every mountain's tilt, every ocean's curve. The world's geometry is not natural. It is a sigil, a celestial knot. The void lords do not rot in its core, they breathe there, bound, not dead. Their influence leaches through every jagged continent, every star-aligned scar in the land. The Titans did not erase evil, they folded it. Bled it into the bones of the world. You think the Pantheon destroyed the old gods, they caged them. Yurun, Thun, their forms are not ash. They are geometry pressed into the earth like cracks in a shattered mirror. The well of eternity, a fulcrum, a lever. The Titan's prison requires balance. Too much pressure and the void writhes free. Too little and the old gods gnaw their way out. Azeroth's shape is not a weapon. It is a negotiation, a fragile truce between forces that cannot unmake each other. The orthodox tale flinches from this truth. Containment is not victory. It is coexistence. The Pantheon's order is a leash. Azeroth's continents align with the stars not to honor creation but to anchor it. The void's pull is countered by the weight of stone, by the curvature of land that bends space itself. Every valley, every peak is a glyph. A shackle, the Titans did not a world, they built a prison and we, its wardens, what does it mean to live inside a trap? To breathe air thick with the breath of gods you cannot see. The Pantheon's good is not absence, it is balance . And balance is a knife's edge, slip and the world's shape fractures, the void spills, the old gods rise, the prison becomes a grave. Not for them, for us. But what if the prison was never meant to last? The geometry binding Azeroth's bones is no eternal lock, it is clockwork. Gears of star-aligned stone grinding against the void's hunger. The old gods whisper in its fractures, not prisoners, architects, the Titan's trap, a mirror. For who truly drowns in this shapius or them? The continents shift, the prison breathes. The continents are not landmasses, they are anchors. The Titans did not Azeroth to cage the void, they built it to negotiate with it. Every mountain range is a braille code, every ocean a pressure valve. The world soul's shape is not a prison, it is a handshake. The Pantheon's geometry binds no god, it binds the war itself. Light and void are not armies, they are tectonic plates. The old gods do not rot in chains, they are the chains. Their bodies are the foundation, their screams are the bedrock. The Titans did not defeat the void, they folded it into the equation. Order is the scar tissue, a zero-sum calculus. For every soul the light elevates, the void unmake. For every city the alliance the horde burns. the cycle is not a victory. It is a checksum, the Titan's trap, a stalemate, a buffer zone. The world's curve is a MB, a strip. To contain the conflict must be contained asterisk by asterisk the conflict. The old gods were never enemies, they were variables, their bindings are not shackles. They are parentheses, the pantheon's flaw, assuming design could ever be final. The void does not bleed, it asterisk is asterisk the wound, the Titans did not win. They delayed the hemorrhage. Azeroth's geometry is a clock with no hands, it ticks in both directions, the continents shift, the prison breathes. The war is not here, the war asterisk is asterisk here, the war asterisk is asterisk the here. What if the trap was never for the void? What if it was for those who believed order could be carved, not negotiated? The Titan's geometry is not a solution, it is a confession. Azeroth is not a world, it is a truce, a fragile, breathing compromise between forces that cannot comprehend compromise, and the pantheon, they are not gods. They are custodians of the paradox, their light is not victory, it is a spotlight, shining on a wound that cannot close. The wound in the world soul did not heal, it was sutured. The continents are not landmasses, they are keystone weights, each shaped to counter a void lord's sigil. The Watcher tablets seem to say Azeroth's curve is no accident. It is a bridle forged in the Titan forge, its arcs mirroring the celestial geometry of the Nexus. The old gods did not rise here by chance, they were planted. The void lords seeded them like spores, seeking to fester the world soul's potential. Azeroth was their highest bet. The Chronicles reading most honors this truth. The Titans did not a tomb, they built a vault. Every mountain range is a glyph, every ocean's depth a countercharm. The cosmic lock holds but it leaks, the old gods breathe still. Their whispers are not defeat, they are delay. The Void Lord's influence is not vanquished, it is damned. The Titans won no war. They set a boundary. Azeroth's shape is their answer to an unanswerable question. How to cage what cannot die. The answer, make the cage a world. Let its weight press down, let its geometry distort. Let the continents grind like gears in a celestial clockwork. The cost. A soul split between two wills, the price, a prison that thinks it is a home. What the stars trace above, the earth replicates below, not in harmony, but in containment. The final verdict written in stone and starlight, the battle was never won, it was only paused. The lock holds for now. Look again, the jagged spine of the hinterlands, the collapsed vault of Zangar. These are not the bones of Titans. They are the ribs of a prison. Every mountain range a scar where geometry was driven into flesh. Every valley a wound where the old gods' whispers seep through fractured stone. The Pantheon's first temples were built on the ashes of older empires. Not by choice, by necessity. Below every hearth of civilization, the dead of a forgotten war wait. Their cities are not buried. They are folded, compressed into the bedrock like secrets too terrible to speak. The continents themselves are the prison's geometry, a key, a lock. A sentence carved into the world soul by hands that knew the void could not be killed, only caged. The Titans did not fight with swords. They fought with angles, with curves that bent reality to bind the old god's influence. Azeroth's curvature is a snare. Its continents align not with tectonic whims, but with constellations that mirror the prison's design. The stars above, the scars below. A language of shape and silence. What remains unseen is what bleeds most. The old gods did not lose, they slept. There will pools in the deep places where the prison's geometry weakens. The lock holds for now. But the chronicler, what does the chronicler now refuse to look at? The mountains, the seas. The ground beneath their feet, where the geometry of a cosmic war waits to be rewritten. The continents are not as they seem, their edges are not accidents. The curve of Kalimdor's spine, the tilt of the Eastern Kingdom Sol are anchors in a celestial scaffold. The Titans did not merely shape Azeroth. They bent its form to bind the old god's whispers, to twist the void's reach into a knot. Geometry was their weapon. The world itself a cage, but the void does not surrender. Its geometry fights back, mountains bleed, oceans warp. The land remembers the war that drew its borders. Every fissure in the earth is a scar where order and chaos clashed. The eternal conflict is not a battle of strength. It is a dance of shapes, a balance held by the world's very outline. The Titans won no final victory. The old gods still breathe beneath the soil. Their influence seeps through cracks in the design. The light that holds the prison intact is not eternal. It is only persistent, a counter-pressure, a weight. Azeroth's people walk a truce, unaware their footsteps trace the lines of a cosmic lock. What does this say of our own struggles? Of the wars we call just, the borders we call natural. If the world's shape is a wound still healing, then existence itself is a borrowed peace, a moment suspended between two hungers. The geometry of survival is not a triumph. It is a pause, a breath before the next clash. The stars above do not watch. They are part of the same design, the same trap, the same fragile, fleeting harmony. The veil of eternal blossoms glows not with life, but with the fevered pulse of a wound sutured by starlight. Its petals are not flowers, they are fractured constellations, each petal a shard of Amanthol's own essence, pressed into the earth to choke the breath of Yogg-Saron. The air hums, the ground throbs, here the world's skin is thin, too thin. You can see the geometry beneath, lines that do not bend, angles that refuse to curve, a perfect cage of angles the Titans forged to bind what should not be contained. The stars above are not free, they are anchors. Their light is not warmth, but pressure-weightless hands pinning the edges of this wound shut. The continents, those jagged scars upon Azeroth's flesh, were not shaped by tides or time. They are the teeth of a cosmic key, each mountain a prong, each river a groove. The Titans did not a world. They bent one into a lock. And the Void Lords in their arrogance turned that lock with their own geometry, their own fractal hundredly to find the key had been waiting. But what is a prison if not a thing that bleeds? The veil's light is not victory, it is a slow, eternal hemorrhage. Amanthol's intervention did not kill Saarj. It mummified him, his whispers leaching into every root, every stone. The world is a tomb. The world is a wound, the world is a prison and we are its keys. Whispered, fading, the world is a prison and we are its keys. What if the prison is failing, the keys turn, the walls blade, cracks spiderweb through the world soul where Titan geometry meets void hunger. The sundering was no accident, it was a scream. Continents once locked in celestial alignment now shift, as if the prison's blueprint is unraveling. Fractures in the map mirror fractures in the stars, and beneath the noise the Void Lords whisper, asterisk we are unbound asterisk. The next essay digs into the sundering revisited. How did the Void rewrite Azeroth's bones? What became of the Titan's cosmic lock? The answer